What's up, y'all? It's Omar, and for this video, I want to talk about something. It's kind of a touchy subject to talk about, but I want to talk about why doesn't God support gay marriage or gay dating even? Also, dating isn't in the Bible, but I just gay dating leads to marriage. But if you look in, and this isn't the verse I'm gonna quote, isn't God condemning people that the practice of homosexuality? But it's God saying, it's God showing that He had an original design for humanity and mankind. And actually, I'll go ahead and read the verse. It's Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, where it says, "Then God blessed them and said, 'Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and govern it, reign over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, and all the animals that scurry along the ground.'" And the reason I quote this verse, because you're probably thinking, this has nothing to do with gays and, people practicing homosexuality. But I would honestly beg to differ, because it talks about, this shows that God had an original plan for humanity. And He said, be fruitful. So we know what fruits are, the fruits that He's referring to. It's about how you act and how your character is, because Jesus goes on to talk about, a good tree is going to bear good fruit, and then Paul goes on, and then vice versa with that. But then Paul goes on in Galatians 5 to talk about what the fruits of the Spirit are, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. And that's talking about, why does it say, be fruitful and multiply? But this isn't God saying, I just don't want guys dating guys. This is God saying, I had an original design because I want mankind to be able to, what does it say? Be fruitful and multiply. He wants mankind to go on. And let's say everybody was to go, homosexual. Humanity wouldn't be able to carry out God's original plan. And it says, fill the earth and govern it. I mean, we're doing that, but govern it, we're doing that. But how are we supposed to fill the earth and multiply if everybody, let's say everybody was to be homosexual? This just shows that it wasn't in God's original plan for man to be like this. This isn't me showing hate. This isn't me showing hate to the LGBTQ community. This is me showing just that God had an original design for humanity, and this is why He doesn't support it.